Hey guys, welcome back. It's Redox. Thanks again for joining me here with another CNC Rivals video. And I was playing the Nod faction today, and I was like, hey, I want to use a unit that no one really uses, and it's the ROCKWORM. So this is a unit that burrows underground while moving, and is untargetable while it's underground. So if you've seen the ROCKWORM, it just kind of traverses slowly. It's a slow-moving unit that goes underground like a worm, and then it will pop up, surprising your opponent, and it will just deal a large amount of splash damage to any vehicle units surrounding it, and does a good amount of damage to infantry as well, depending on the unit. This unit has a high amount of health and DPS as well. It is an expensive unit though, because it has to be built from the Temple of Nod. The ROCKWORM, I think, is just as viable as the GDI Titan. The only real thing I don't like about this unit is that its speed is slow, but I think its strength comes from the fact that it burrows underground, and it can dodge a lot of damage while it's burrowed underground. For example, Kane's Obelisk of Light cannot actually attack the ROCKWORM when it's underground. So as long as you're moving the ROCKWORM around, it won't be targetable, because as long as it moves, its head is under the ground and it's not above ground. And not just that unit, but let's say an artillery unit was on the field. It actually can't bombard, it can't actually shell the ROCKWORM while it's underground. Or air units like the Banshee. The Banshee cannot actually attack the ROCKWORM if the ROCKWORM is underground. So the ROCKWORM can really get through many different types of obstacles. It can get through behind enemy lines, go for the enemy harvesters. It can go for the enemy base. You can send the ROCKWORM to destroy something like, let's say, the artillery, which would be sitting at the back line, because it's burrowing underground, and the artillery shots won't be able to hit the ROCKWORM while it's moving towards it. I mean, if your opponent does not protect these units well, the ROCKWORM will pop up out of the ground and they'll just smash them into pieces, any vehicle units into pieces. So the ROCKWORM, I think, is a great vehicle assassin that can get through enemy lines if needed to be. And then with the ROCKWORM in conjunction, the Confessor turned out to be a great unit to support the ROCKWORM, because it does what the ROCKWORM can't do. It can attack air units, and it can also deal with enemy infantry very well as well. It has a high amount of health, and the DPS is decent on the Confessor, while it also this unit empowers other friendly adjacent infantry units with 30% increased attack speed, and also reveals adjacent stealth units like the stealth tank. And so the Confessor turned out to be a great support unit for the ROCKWORM. Whenever I needed support for the ROCKWORM, Confessors would be there, or if I needed support for the Confessors, I could build a ROCKWORM. So these two units really went well in hand to hand. Of course, you don't need to exactly have this type of unit composition, but this is what worked for me. I had the laser squad and the flame troopers in the barracks building, and I also had the scorpion tank and the attack bike as well from the war factory. And I liked using the commander Oxana. I tried the other commanders. I tried Kane, I tried Seth, but I prefer Oxana because of her ability to speed up the unit's movement speed and the attack speed, which is great on slow units like the ROCKWORM. So anyways, let me show you guys a couple of matches on how I use this army to its success. Alright guys, so this is the first match. Redox, that's me, versus Big Boy. He'll be on the blue side and I'll be on the red side. He has Dr. Liang as his commander. I go straight into the attack bikes. The attack bike opening is very good when you have Temple of Nod units, because Temple of Nod units, just like the Tech Lab for the GDI, are very expensive to build. So of course, getting free crystals early on puts me at a head-on advantage. And if I'm able to get away with a strategy, why not, right? Because it still works, and it still works on many players. So anyways, he opened up with double harvesters, and he really messed up in this beginning here. I'm getting free crystals. I'm getting essentially about 300 crystals here, by destroying that third harvester as well. Let me speed it up a little bit. He goes for a helipad, and he goes for an Orca Bomber straight off the bat, but it does not kill the attack bike in one shot, even though the Orca Bomber is level 8, which I was a little bit surprised, because I thought the Orca Bomber at the same level would actually kill my attack bikes, but it doesn't. and I block him off. I block his Orca Bomber off, but he builds another Orca Bomber to finish off my weakened attack bikes. But my laser squad does a great job at dealing with them. Now, I've got an early Confessor up. Of course, I'm not building Rockworms at this point when he's only got air units. And it looked like his Orca Bomber was going for my Harvesters, so I sent my laser squad to deal with that one Orca Bomber. And I'm just spamming Confessors, because Confessors are great. And when you put a Confessor next to another Confessor, they will increase their attack speed each other by 30%, which is crazy. They'll just attack so fast that you know, they'll just rip through anything. And this guy really only goes for air units. Now he goes for a tech lab, but look at how much damage my Confessors are doing to his Harvesters. Over time, Confessors can rack up a lot of damage, just like the Wolverines. And these drones aren't doing anything to my Confessors. You have to realize the Confessor is no ordinary anti-air unit or anti-infantry unit. It is a Temple of Nod anti-air, anti-infantry unit. So you have to take the Confessor seriously. And I guess, you know, not many players use the Confessor, right? I mean, I haven't met a lot of players using the Confessor. So, anyways, he goes for a Disruptor, and the Disruptor is a perfect counter for Confessors. And my Confessors are pretty much dead meat here. I don't micro my Confessors very well here because I'm not too worried. I go for a Rockworm here, seeing that he's got the Disruptor. And as you guys can see, you can see that Rockworm moving across the map. And some players don't focus; they don't really pay attention sometimes. And my Rockworm gets close to his Disruptor, and you'll just see how much damage these guys do to vehicles. Look at that. It's going to be a 2-shot, 2 swipes, and boom, it's down. My Rockworms are going underground again as he's spamming a whole bunch of Disruptors, and my Confessors obviously won't be able to beat them. So the Rockworm and the Confessor just work well they work so well together. In conjunction, and I had all the Tiberium crystals I wanted in this game because I killed so many of his Harvesters early on, and I win the game. So yeah, as you guys saw, the Rockworm crushing his Disruptors, and my Confessors dealt with all the air units in the sky. Alright guys, this will be the second game. My opponent will be GDI again with Lieutenant Strongarm. And I will also go into an attack bike once again. I want the early crystal advantage as I have Temple of Nod units. I'm really focusing on pumping out Rockworms and Confessors as quick as I can. He's got his Riflemen out. He knows I've got attack bikes, so he's most likely going to go into some missile squads here. But I try to block his missile squad pathing with my other attack bike, and I try to distract him as well. But he goes straight for my attack bike up north. But by this time, it's too late for him as my attack bike does kill his first Harvester. And he does take out a second missile squad to get a surround on my attack bike. But the rocks actually sort of helped me out this game because I blocked his entrance with my second attack bike. Had the rocks not been there, maybe his Harvester might have survived. But anyways, I go for some Flame Troopers. And he's got the Lieutenant Strongarm minigun, but I am able to deal with the top launch pad, securing it. I go for a tank, and he actually goes for a double Harvester, which is, I guess he's just trying to get all those crystals as quick as he can, as he most likely has tech lab units and whatnot. But my Scorpion tank will pretty much tear apart through his Harvesters here. I sent out some more Flame Troopers to secure the other launch pad, and he's got a helipad, so he's going to have some air units coming out here. And he goes for an Orca Bomber, which is a great counter to Scorpion tanks. And my Flame Troopers can't attack his Orca Bombers, and I just try to run away with my Scorpion tank, but yeah, my Scorpion tank does survive here. I build a Confessor, as Confessors, of course, tear apart through infantry and air units, so it was a good time for me to build my Confessors here. And yeah, I just try to run around with my Scorpion tank as best as I can, but it does go down eventually. And with my Confessors, as they're so good at tearing down Harvesters, I enhance it with Oxana, and I rapidly cut through that Harvester steel on the bottom, while the Orca Bomber is getting taken care of my Confessor on top. And I could have just secured all the launch pads here and pretty much won the game, but I was kind of wanting to try out the Rockworms more, so I built a Rockworm here as he's got a Wolverine. And as you can see, I am moving my Rockworm down to the other launch pad to deal with his Wolverine. He gets the second missile here. Of course, I could have secured his launch pad, but I really just wanted to use Confessors and Rockworms. because they were so fun to use. And you can see just that Rockworm shredding that Wolverine in 2 hits. And his Orca Bomber goes down south. And as you guys can see, I burrow my Rockworm. And you can see that this is what I'm talking about. It is untargetable while it's in the ground. And as long as you have the Rockworm moving, his Orca Bomber is just a sitting duck until my Confessors come and clean that bomber up. So that's really what you can do. You can really burrow your unit and just hide it away underground so air units can't attack it. You know, it's such a nice ability to have, to be able to burrow underground. You can also move through units, which is really cool. You can get to the enemy backline and so on. There's so many cool things you can do with the Rockworm, and that's pretty much how I win the game, guys. Alright guys, so in this final game, it's gonna be Nod versus Nod, and my opponent has Commander Kane. And once again, attack bike opening, which is amazing, of course, as always. And I go straight for his Harvesters. So he starts mining his crystals, and I'm pretty much going to try to blow up his Harvesters here. And I go. He's got an attack bike this time instead of building like a missile squad or a laser squad. And he keeps going for these attack bikes, so I just try to focus down his attack bikes with my attack bikes without building a Harvester, because I want to take these attack bikes out so I can secure that Harvester kill, which is important for me to get that early economy advantage. And my 3 attack bikes here are doing a good job, and they'll pretty much be able to take out this first Harvester here, and he will take out my other attack bikes. I go for a Harvester on my side, and I go for a Scorpion tank with the extra crystals that I've just received. And my Scorpion tank, of course, will tear through these attack bikes, and he tries to get a surround on my tanks, but I've got 2 tanks now, and he won't be able to do much against my tanks here. And he goes for a second Harvester, which is very interesting. A lot of players seems like a lot of players still go for these double Harvester strategy. Anyways, I just don't think going for double Harvesters is the best idea, especially when you're behind like this. But that's what he does, and I'm just gonna fast forward this a little bit here, guys. He goes for the yeah, okay, I might have sped that out too much, but he goes for the Obelisk of Light here, tearing down my Scorpion tank, and I get the first missile there as I capture the launch pad, and I take out his Scorpion tanks here, and I build 1 Rockworm to go into his Harvester backline, and I was not careful with that Scorpion tank, and just got into range to his Obelisk of Light tower. But as you guys can see, that tower cannot target my Rockworm while it's burrowed underground, which is so cool. But anyways, my Rockworm here will pop up, and I enhance it with Oxana's Fanaticism, and look at how fast it attacks. It's a 3-hit, and the Harvester is down, which is funny. And he has a Cyborg, which does a lot of damage to my Rockworm, and I almost take out that second Harvester, but I couldn't, and I finished it off with a Scorpion tank. I built some Confessors now, seeing that he's got the Cyborgs, and my Confessor, of course, will deal with that. But that was really cool how I got to power up that Rockworm and sneak behind and kill both of his Harvesters. And he goes for some Spiders here, and my Confessors, unfortunately, will take a lot of damage to his Spiders. I try to take out both of his Spiders here, and my injured Confessors won't be able to hold out against these Spiders, unfortunately. But I keep sending my Rockworms up to destroy his Harvesters, which is pretty funny. And he gets the second missile here. He has an artillery, and he shells my I see that he shelled my Rockworm, but he can't attack while I'm burrowed. See, look at this. This is what I mean. He attacked as soon as I came up, but he couldn't attack until I popped up, and artilleries have such low health. And look at that, the Obelisk of Light tried to hit my Rockworm underground again. I didn't do a very good job of micro here, and I'll lose my Rockworm there. Had I just kept moving my Rockworm back and forth underground, the Obelisk of Light wouldn't be able to hit it. But it's a really nice, nice way to counter artilleries or juggernauts. Any like any units that hit from afar, these Rockworms can really assassinate or take out those kind of units. He just keeps going for Spiders and Cyborgs to deal with my infantry units, but these Spiders get absolutely shredded by my Rockworms. And I go for some Flame Troopers to deal with the Cyborgs on the bottom. I keep destroying his Harvesters, and I've got 2 Rockworms on the map just running around, And he's only got one spider here on the field. And at this point, it's looking pretty good for me. And he might have just actually ended up giving up here, but no, he actually still goes for one of those Obelisk of Light Tower. But that's it, guys. He knows he can't farm any more crystals. If he builds harvesters, there's a Rockworm on top of his crystal patch. So he didn't build any harvesters there. But yeah, at this point, there was like no way he was gonna come back with this game. But anyways, the Rockworm is a very interesting unit, and the Confessor is a very powerful supporting unit for the Rockworm. If you guys want to give a strategy a try, definitely give it a shot because it's very effective, and I've won many games in a row. And if you guys enjoyed this video, once again, remember to comment, subscribe, and like. I hope you guys are killing it out there on the rank ladder, and I'll see you guys next time.